What's going on, everybody? It's the PR. I am me, coming back with another episode of the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. And I, of course, am here with my co-host, Leeboy TV. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, people? Leeboy TV in the building as usual. Thanks for coming to another episode of the PNP. We're back with another one.
So last week, if y'all haven't seen or heard or listened, we had John Amos and his son Casey. A lot of people liked it and enjoyed it, and yeah, now a lot of people really said a lot of good things about it, and I'm happy that everybody liked it,
Yeah, I
including.
mean, we had a legend, man, and we had fun too. John and KC were a good time, great interview. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go back and watch that one. We're just blessed to have someone of that status on our podcast. That's only going to elevate us. We're not doing nothing for his career, believe me. Believe you me, we ain't doing nothing for him. But yeah, I mean, he seemed to have a good time as well, and fingers crossed, maybe we'll have him back. Who knows? So thank you, John Amos. Thank you, Casey Amos. It was a great time. We're happy to be part of the the Coming to America train, man. It was a big media hit last week. I think everybody watched it. Everybody enjoyed it. And for the most part, I seen a couple dissenting reviews, but for the most part, the movie was well received, as well as our interview. So guys, definitely tap in with us for that John Amos interview. It was dope.
Yeah, yeah. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. And if you have seen it, go watch it again because
I mean, we talked about his McDonald's commercials from 1971. We talked about, what it meant for him to be Cleo McDowell. I wanted to ask him, what I really wanted to ask him, if Cleo McDowell would have been a Trump supporter in 2020, but I kind of alluded to it, but I thought about it after. I was like, that's the question I wanted.
I
Um,
don't, I don't think he would have. Well,
he's pro business. Cleo McDowell is
yeah,
he's a business owner. He's all about working hard to get where you want to get, which are some of the values that, Republicans subscribe to. But I don't want to make it political or anything. But I have an inkling that Cleo may have been Trump support. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I definitely wanted to ask him. I asked him a question in that vein. So you guys check out his response to that. And then he also told the great story about Eddie Murphy surprising him at lunch. If you guys haven't heard that, it's a dope story with a hilarious ending. So you guys make sure just tune into the whole thing. Go watch the movie.
yeah. And that leads us to today's episode, which is sort of a segue, not really, but we're talking about Spy Kids because it's the 20th anniversary of Spy Kids coming up this week. And I would just say you probably are a little bit too old to even like Spy Kids. But look, man, Spy
I
Kids
mean,
is a kid classic.
is it a classic? I mean, it's a 20th anniversary, so I'm here for it. But we'll get into what I thought of the movie. Definitely, I'll say I didn't catch this when it first came out in 2001. I was probably 15, 16, so maybe a little bit old to watch it at that time. Tried to get my kids in on this one. We'll talk about that. But yeah, Spy Kids, man. It has 4 movies, right? There's sequels.
Unfortunately, it has a fourth movie.
Unfortunately, see, look, I don't know nothing about none of the sequels, but obviously it had to be
Uh,
successful for
I
them to do it
think
4 times.
I think it's a movie where the sequels get better except for the fourth one.
Okay.
So later down the line, we might do the sequels, or I might just talk about them. I don't know because
We'll see how it goes there. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. But no, I just wanted to talk about this because it's like this is one of those movies where it was like we don't care about products, we don't care about selling you stuff. We just want to show you what's cool for a kid at that time. And I don't know, I kind of like this. It's like this man made this whole movie on his computer. He said, "I'm not gonna pay no budget. I'm not gonna spend no money on all this. I'm gonna just literally edit this on my computer, and that's it. That's all." So,
Is that how we
and
got here?
I'm so serious. Yeah, that's how he edited all his movies. Like his movies cost like probably a million or whatever to make, and then he'd make a lot of money back on it because of how much for kids it is. Like Robert Rodriguez released a movie on Christmas this year called "We Can Be Heroes," and it's like it was like the most watched movie on Netflix for like a month and a half. I think probably the most watched thing on Netflix ever at this point. Like that's how much it's been getting attention. And yeah. So
Kids are a great market. They're big consumers. They watch over and over, and they don't have no bills, so all they have to do is ask mom, right? So, I mean, he's smart for tapping into that market, and I mean, obviously, he's had great success.
yeah, before we just get into the movie, his like the way that he makes his movies.
And when you say he, you're talking about Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I'm not gonna lie, the way that they look, they should not be as watched as they are. I'm gonna just be honest with you. They look so terrible and cheap and cheesy. But I think it's the terrible cheesiness that people be like, I think I like this. Like, I don't know. I think that's what it is.
You know,
Just
watching it, it reminded me a lot of a Disney Channel movie, Halloween Town ish, in that vein, as far as like the graphics and, like you said, the fight scenes and things like that. Um, yeah, it definitely gave me Disney Channel vibes.
it's like he took the '90s computer graphics and used them all the way up until now. He still uses those '90s computer graphics for his backgrounds. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, nah, we're just gonna talk about Spy Kids. Came out 2001, starring uh Alexa
You don't
Vega.
know them
I
kids'
do,
names. Them kids
I
didn't
do.
do nothing after this.
Starring Alexa Vega and Daryl Sabero. Daryl Sabero, he married Megan Trainor, so I mean,
Oh,
I
that's
guess
something, yeah.
they just had a baby, and then Alexa Vega, she didn't really do nothing, but she didn't do nothing but the Spy Kids movie and the Machete movie, and I think she married who did she marry? She married somebody from a boy band. I'm gonna just say that. But I don't know. The first one is always a journey to if you want a sequel, the first one got to be at least presentable. So your initial thoughts before we just break it down or destroy it or lift it up. What did you think? Your initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts. You know, when we did Halloween Town, you said it was a doozy, and I'm back because this one is a dookie. No, it's a pile of crap. No,
I
but
can see
seriously, I
that.
would probably never watch this again.
I can see that.
I'll never watch it again. The story wasn't bad though. I mean, it reminds me of the classic kids realize their power and they reach out to their parents' profession and steal things from them and kind of learn on their own, and then in the end they have this big reveal where they had the power within themselves the whole time. So it has a classic story element and some funny scenes. Like I said, it's just probably I'm just too old. I wish I would have seen it earlier or in a younger age, because by the time it came out, I was already too old. I probably would have appreciated more. The kids, I couldn't get to sit down and watch this one, but I'm gonna try again because I love to see. I love to for them to see kids in movies where they're empowered and they take over the storyline. So it's something that is good, I would say, for kids to watch, just as far as them building up their confidence and facing their fears and things like that. So yeah, so no complaints about the story. It's probably just mostly the graphics, like
Yeah,
like
nah, the graphics are.
when he had her spinning on that round wheel thing and
He is the Michael Bay of like children's graphics. Like he reused everything. He just you know don't spend that much money. Michael Bay reuses a lot of his shots and explosions. Just redo them. Similar. It's a lot of similarities between them two. But I mean, as far as your kids getting into it, your kids might like the second or the third one. Just because of the second and third one they have themes. Like the second one's like an island. It's like you got dinosaurs and all
okay.
these different animals. And then the third one is like a real life video game. like it's a VR game before VR was like a thing. So yeah, with the graphics in that one is
No.
is funny when you look at it. It's like this is so ridiculous of why these graphics are even made. But I don't know. I always thought the third one was like not the coolest one, but like the one that was like the most aesthetically pleasing, as much as being the most ugly. It's pleasing and ugly at the same time. You got to watch it to know what I'm talking about.
Well, I would imagine it being a video game theme that he probably did. He go back to 8-bit? Look, 16
Nah,
NES.
he went to like nah. It's more like a. I don't know if you ever played this game called Quake. It's more like Quake, more like early version Call of Duty. It's like a that type of game.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm gonna just say my thoughts real quick is I didn't know I liked this movie as a kid as much as I did, but like one day I was on YouTube and I seen this channel called Pretty Much It. I'm gonna give him a shout out. I seen a channel called Pretty Much It, and the video was like, "Is Spy Kids better than Sky High or something like that?" This movie Sky High, you probably never heard of it, but that's a movie we might have to do too. I don't know.
Is that Disney Channel? Is that one Disney Channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have at least heard of it.
It wasn't a Disney movie, but it was from Disney. Yeah. But it was just basically saying, you know, what's the saying, what's the difference? And then they kind of made me not rekindle that, but they kind of made me like want to be like, I remember this. Let me watch it again. Then I watched it with their like commentary, or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, this is on track. So I started watching a lot of their videos, and yeah, so I just had to give them that little quick shout out because it kind of helped me rekindle my Spy Kids power.
Were you gonna say fandom? You have fandom for Spy Kids?
I wouldn't say fandom. I just say I remember liking the movies, but I didn't remember liking them. Like I don't remember when I was watching it with them or rewatching it. I was remembering scenes. I was remembering like what's coming next and all that. So, you know, I remembered it like that. But all right, enough of the goody talk. Let's just talk. What was your least favorite part?
Ooh, what was the Pee Wee Herman looking character on TV?
Floop.
Floopy and his little homie. Look, that guy with the purple face was creepy as hell. He ends up being one of the bad guys. And then I was just wondering, one, how Antonio Banderas even recognized him when he first seen him. He's like has a picture of the bad guy. He's looking at the Floopy character and he's like, that could be him. I don't know what he saw.
Because there was like we've had like a few agents missing, and he was the first one he just recently went missing, and then he recently showed up on the show. So he was like, coincidence.
So yeah, that was pretty random though. And then maybe I missed this. How did the kids get their initial outfits? Did they because obviously their parents are spies. They take on this spy persona as well. They have all the gadgets and everything, but their outfits, did they just pop up, or were they pre-made? Or I mean, I was just kind of lost on that part.
So in the movie aspect, they just got them from a store. In the movie aspect, because they went to that store and like the little jetpack thing was in there, and then they came out and then they had the outfits. But they learned from their parents, like you got to just wear different outfits. I guess they just put those under. I don't know. It's not really explained much. Like in the second movie, they explain it, but the first one is like, yeah, we just randomly it just happened to wear the same outfit.
And then in general, I will say just and this goes back to the graphics. We already kind of talked about it. Just like the bad guys being thumbs and like blue, like looking things.
I think that was unique. I guess because it's like it's not a person and it's not an animated thing. It's like an actual person in the suit.
That should just look scary. I was just scared. Yeah. This could give you nightmares if you're in the wrong state of mind. Like, be careful watching this one with your kids because they may be like, "Mom, a thumb's gonna get me out." I don't know.
I mean,
little freaky, little scary.
It does make for a weird like henchman because it's like I kind of liked it because it's not an actual monster or anything. It's like just a thumb. It's like I think that it's creepy enough to where it can be believable as to why a kid would be scared of a thumb.
I
So
was scared. I was scared. I ain't gonna
yeah,
lie. But yeah, no, I mean, those are minor details. It didn't make me hate the movie or anything, but it just gave me put some questions in my mind. I'm like, what is really going on? It made me had to rewind and be like, I need to figure it out. So I couldn't figure out everything, but that's why we got you here, Prime. Appreciate it.
nah, I mean this movie. Look, I'm gonna just say this is a silly, goofy movie. Like it should not be. In my opinion, it should not be as talked about as it is because of the way that it is. But I think the way that it is just is the way that it is makes it be talked about because of how ridiculous it is. Like this should not be like a classic, but the way of how ridiculous it is and how people remember it, that's probably why. Like, there's no reason Antonio Banderas should be doing what he's doing in this movie, but he is. It's you know.
Yeah, I mean, and so just I guess he was in high demand at the time, probably was trying to switch up his his resume or his portfolio as far as his on-screen performances. So yeah, just kind of surprising to see him and also George Clooney,
Yeah,
in this
randomly.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Clooney's super random in this
I
one.
think he's in all of them.
But it brought some credibility obviously to the movie. And yeah, just kind of just surprising to see them in this type of film. Especially
Yeah,
George Clooney.
yeah. Sylvester Stallone is in one of these movies. He has a big role. So yeah, they try to get some people here and there, but yeah, like I said, it's just weird. Like I have my gripes with the movie, but it's aesthetically some parts are good and aesthetically some parts are bad. Like the part where they're like running in the room and it's like a bridge and she jumps and she was like, okay, this just a fake, and then she jumps and she actually gets sunken in. Stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. It's creative. Um, but some stuff is like just bad. Like a lot of stuff is just bad. So yeah.
But no, but like you said, the creativity definitely hits home for it's definitely a fun for kids type movie. When they're flying and beating up on each other. I think especially when they're beating up literally on themselves on each other. I thought that was dope. They kind of establish a good relationship between the brother and sister. Like Junie's pretty funny, when he's like mimicking everything she does. That just reminds
Hmm.
me of his old times, with your friends and family, little kid games that you used to do. So they hit on some good elements in this one, and I think that makes it appealing to kids. And especially, like you said, sometimes though the corniness or the just the level of the design that we see in this, the graphic design and effects, that corniness does bring it. I'm not going to say a likable quality or relatable quality, but it just sticks out in your mind, I think, as a kid. And like you said, when you go back and watch it, you're like, that was so stupid, but for some reason it makes you just like it more. Like it just, I don't know what it is, but sometimes when you watch some of these old movies that aren't up to par with the current status of filmmaking, there's something lovable about it. So I could definitely see that had I watched it earlier, I probably would have some of those same feelings. But no, I didn't watch it, so here we are.
I mean, it's it's iffy sometimes when you think about it, but you know, it's still somewhat of a classic. Some people like to say.
No, this one's a bona fide classic. Even though I hadn't seen it, Spy Kids is obviously well known. We know that it has four. Um, but it's something that I
Unfortunately, that's four.
unfortunately look they should have stopped at three. But this is one though I thought I had seen too, but I realized I hadn't seen it until I started watching it. I'm like, I don't think I've seen this one. Or maybe I hadn't seen the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, this just the title Spy Kids definitely reverberates in the child cinema community, if that's even a thing. Child cinema community, CCC. We might have to patent that. Look. I'm just coming up with stuff. But yeah, Spy Kids. Call it a cult classic. We'll keep it there.
Okay, okay. I will say though, like when it comes to, I know a lot of people like Carmen because it's like for one, it's a strong character
Mm-hmm.
and it's a female strong character. So I know people really liked that part in the movie. I'm like, I can understand why people would like that more. Like they would like her as her character. So I understood it. I still like it. And randomly, she has the Wonder Woman theme. I don't know if you recognize that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like the theme in the Wonder Woman movie of 2017 is almost the same as the theme in this song for her. Every time she pops on screen, it's like a so I always thought that was cool. But nah, they treated her like she was like they treated her like the main character of like I don't know what reference I can give to this. If the people know, they know. She's like the Tommy Oliver of this universe. If they know, they know. You probably not gonna get this. So
Tommy, I'm
yeah.
lost. Yeah, lost on Tommy.
Hey, I don't know what she's the Tommy Pickles of this universe. Is that better?
Cause yeah, I definitely know Tommy. That's my guy,
Okay,
Mr. Pickles.
okay. Yeah, so she's the main in that. And I don't know, I think they use her good because they use her like as a strong character. And I think that's why a lot of females like this movie as well, because she's shown as a prominent, strong person. So I like that part too.
Yeah,
But
it's always good when you can get some, female power, women representation. Even if it's just kids, it's always good to showcase, the women as strong, the strong figures that they are, and especially, when you got the brother and sister element. Sisters are always smarter, stronger, faster, better until us men grow up and we fill out our we fill out our potential. We reach our potential, but women are always leading the way when it comes down to that stuff. Let's just be honest. Much better than us.
I can't say enough good and bad things about this movie. So I'm just gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you this. Going, I know you probably just watching and hearing about that stuff for the first time. When you hear the name Spy Kids, what do you think about?
Spy Kids. I think of kids trying to, live in an adult world. I think of kids. I think of James Bond for kids, right? You think, and that's probably what kids best. The when you think of spies, kids usually just think of James Bond. It's probably the biggest representation of a spy that any kids know, and so that's what I think of. And I think of them, being in places where they ain't supposed to be, taking over bad guys that they aren't supposed to be able to, and defying the odds of being kids. And so, in a lot of ways, that is what we see in this movie. And I think he played it up pretty good.
Okay, so I got a question. Another question is as far as their gadgets, what was the gadget where you was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. Or this is actually kind of good. It comes to like the
Mm.
gadgets or the mobiles that they were in or whatever.
Look, I'll say like this one's towards the end, the silly string. I was like, why did they pull out the silly string? What the hell is that gonna do? But then when it melted on them, I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of dope. Because I was like, nah, they lost me with that one. How is this gonna defeat their evil twin? And it didn't. It really didn't. They just broke right out of it. But I thought, that was just a sign of a time because silly string was all the rage. So I could just imagine all the kids just hopping out like. I'm gonna
Okay.
be a spy kid today. So I thought it just brought me back to a time that was a nostalgia time. And then whatever he had going on with his watch, that was just figuring out everything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was dope because this it reminds me too of the gadgets, kind of like from this is a little bit of a stretch or a reach, but from like Home Alone when he had the talk boy and he had all this other
Mm.
stuff, and that just seemed like a gadget that they probably would have put out in Target that you could go pretend. And so I would have definitely loved to have that watch on my wrist if there was a fake one. I don't know if there is. You guys hit us in the
I
comments
don't
and
I
send
don't
it
know
to
about that one.
But that would have
But
been dope, right? You press a little button and the little satellite comes out or something.
mhm.
I thought that would have been dope.
But mine for the coolest quote unquote thing, I probably say that the little boat that they got in because
Mm.
it made them food. It can tell them stories. They can send messages on it. They can sleep in. They got a bed to sleep in. It. They can use the bathroom. I mean, I think that's got to be one of the coolest thing. If not, maybe the jetpack because who thinks about using jetpacks anymore? I guess people just like fly nowadays in movies. So yeah, I like a good jetpack.
Yeah, I mean, it really shows how the creator tapped into the imagination of kids because these are all technologies that kids probably would have wanted, especially jetpack, right? That was like another thing that was all the rage in that time. Those things are real though now. Have you ever seen the guy that jetpacks over LA?
Is that the yeah? Do they
He
call
was
him
at the
Iron Man? Yeah,
airport watching airplanes take off, and he was just
I
like
have seen that.
1,000 feet in the air. But yeah, that's just wild. That's just a whole nother story. But yeah, whenever you have jetpacks as a kid, that is just literally like a dream come true. Just flying in general, and then you add in the element of fighting bad guys while on the jetpack. Wow, that was dope.
Yeah, I mean that's why I always said I like the movies of how they treat like how they treat products. Like I do really feel like it's like we're gonna just show the coolest thing that we can so that they can watch. Like it's not like we're gonna sell these things, be looking to
Mhm.
sell these initially. Like it's not nothing like that. It's literally just we're gonna show you a jetpack because we know kids like jetpacks, kids like these, kids like that. So we're gonna put them in the movie. Um, yeah, I mean, like the third one, I really wanted like a that video game. They never came out with it, but that would have been nice to have.
Oh,
Um,
they missed the opportunity with that. The Spy
yeah,
Kids game.
they missed a lot of opportunities, but we're not gonna get into that. Uh, we're not gonna get into it. So I guess we're gonna go to break real quick. We're gonna come back and see what happens. What song am I gonna play during the break? I might just play the Spy Kids Wonder Woman song, whatever.
Go
Uh,
for it, yeah.
so yeah, we'll be back after this. So we're back. We're back. It's me, PRIME, Leeboy, talking about Spy Kids for the 20th anniversary, which it's been 20 years. Yes, the graphics still look 30 years and older, but we're not gonna, you know, it happens. Um,
It
so
don't
yeah,
stop a classic, man. The story is there. That he did what he could with the graphics. You said he did the whole thing on his computer. I mean, that's
mhm.
resourceful right there. So that probably helped him get this movie out. So without that, maybe we wouldn't watch it. So we
I
got to
mean,
take it as it is.
I always just thought that was like being selfish. Like y'all gave me like this much dollars to make this movie, and I'm only spending this much on it. I always thought that was just that was just me though.
Well, maybe he just saved his entire budget for Clooney and Antonio because it don't make no sense that they even ended up in this movie. But like I said, maybe a lot of his budget just went to having those guys to solidify this movie as a classic or make sure that it hit theaters. Because I don't know if does it even hit theaters without those guys?
Yeah. Oh well, without those guys, I still think it probably does because they are the adults and the kids don't really care about the adults. They just care about the kid things. So
Mhm.
I would say it probably still could have been released before the adults that's bringing their kids. George Clooney and Antonio Banderas was like, oh, okay.
I'm
And then
sure that was probably a big part of the marketing scheme, just to get adults to take their kids. Oh, George Clooney's in it, and they'll sit down and watch it. But he didn't do too much in this. But
yeah, I don't think he was announced for the movie. I
okay,
think Antonio Banderas. I don't think George Clooney was. I think he got like 30 seconds, if not, maybe 25, 30. Uh, so
when
you
he
know,
pulled off that eye blocker, that was dope.
yeah,
I thought that
that
was
was
actually a decent little graphic. I'll give him his little props on that. I was like, okay, that was something.
it's a lot of ridiculous things like that, to where it's like he pulls off this or somebody pulls off that and it's not needed, or something like that. Uh, And I don't want to give nothing away, really, really. But in the third movie, it's like he gets in something, and then that something is not needed because he gets in something bigger right after it. It's like say he gets a glove, but he puts his glove in the machine, and the machine is like the whole robot. It's like the glove makes no sense, but whatever. It's just that's type of things they do in these movies. Um, do you have a favorite character?
I always like the annoying kid. So for me, it was Junie. I like how he pestered his sister. I liked how he wasn't really sure as himself, but then he shows up as a victor, or a strong. He played a strong role in defeating the bad guys. So I thought that was dope. Um, so yeah, I think for me, probably be Junie.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna say probably because since I know what's to come. I wouldn't say Junie in this movie. I might just have to say Carmen, like because of her stronger, her smarts. But um, Antonio Banderas to me in these movies, even though he's not the main character, his every time he's on screen, I always like. He's always got one of the best parts, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Even though they're mostly goofy, but it's still got some of the best parts.
yeah, he steps up the professionalism of the movie. Like when all the family is together, there's not much graphics going on. So I think that may improve it too. They're just like literally acting and being parents, and it anchors the movie with a good story. And he's sort of the protagonist of that part. So I did appreciate the parts where they were able to insert him for sure. Um, I don't know if you remember the end when they were like being held up by the bad guys, and like close your eyes, and they just start whooping butt. That was ridiculous. Like, I don't
That's
know why.
funny though.
I was like, why didn't they just beat them up before they even came? If they could just whoop their behinds. But certain things just
That's,
weren't too well thought out. I don't know, but or at least it just appealed to kids, which is fine.
that's
But
funny though. That's like in the one scene where the dude where they like come up from the camera view, they like crouch down and they come up like so you didn't just see them bend it down. I like just stuff like that. It's just it's stuff like that. But I'm
It
like
actually makes the movie watching it fun actually now. We should do this actually more often, where we watch these movies that are questionable as far as their classic status, and just point out we could just literally take notes and just write down everything that's just skeptical.
all
Like,
right, we're gonna have to watch License to Drive, and I'm gonna have Amy come on and talk about why this movie is so terrible.
yeah, I
Oh
would
my,
love to do that. We should pick apart a movie for sure.
'cause, we can do that. It's a lot of them. We got a big business we can do. We got
See,
we
don't
got
be
a
playing, don't
couple.
be playing now.
We got a
Hey,
couple.
well, actually, that's a good segue back to this one, is because they have the whole evil twin thing, or they're fighting themselves. Um,
Well, it's not. Well, it's
they're
not a
robots.
twins. Clone, robot clone.
They're
Yeah.
robots. But I thought, I always like when you get to see. I recently watched Parent Trap 2. When you get to see an actor and actress play themselves in two different roles, and they're fighting themselves or
Hmm.
fighting. In this one, they kind of switch off who they battle in a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
because they try to have them both in the scene. So
Yeah.
it
So
makes
that was
sense.
probably made it cheaper, right? So they didn't have to be on screen with each other. So he's cutting corners literally everywhere he can. But I always think that brings a good element to a movie. It showcased the actor's ability to not only be themselves, but also be the opposite of themselves. And then they was fighting hard to beat Robot, Carmen and Junie. Like they was strong as hell. Like in fact,
Yeah, the merry-go-round scene where she like when she's spinning him and she just pops in the thing. I'm like, that actually is terrifying.
yeah, they were scary. They were scary. The robot versions were definitely scary. Um, yeah, and that playground scene, they was getting it in. That was a pretty big fight scene. And then at the end, when they punched the wall,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
robot punches the wall, and that's when the puny Junie emerges. He tries to punch the wall. That was pretty funny. But turns out he didn't need all that strength, robot strength to defeat these people. Just need a little bit of smarts, and all can always.
yeah. Which they didn't have.
where they didn't have. So I can always appreciate that plot in the movie where the smart guy wins versus the strong guy.
Yeah, because they that's what they needed. Or they needed the third brain to put in everybody. And the third, I don't think this is the last time we see the third brain, unless it's a different brain. They use brains throughout the series. It's like I don't know. I guess they're just obsessed with brains. Not sure. Seriously, I will say I will give this movie I would give it a chance. Like I think you should give this movie a chance, even if you're like, I think you should give it a chance because like it is actually a classic. I don't think the first one is the best one. But I think if you give the first one a chance, you might be willing to watch the second and third ones. And I think the second and third ones where they improve. So I think if you give the first one a chance, you'll be like, okay, maybe I can give this a chance. Uh, so yeah, y'all give this movie a chance.
Go check it out. Go check it out. If you're into nostalgia movies, this one I don't think it'll disappoint. I think you'll be happy with this one. It has a great story, like we said.
mhm.
Reminds me a little bit more of a Disney Channel movie. Could have definitely. I bet you they showed it on Disney Channel too. Probably a bunch.
They probably they. I'm pretty sure they used this one of the movies they showed on Disney because it's like a kids movie made for kids, like with no adult. Well, you got adult jokes, but it's like no cussing or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like they showed it on Disney faithfully
Yeah. So it's
or
great.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
So
great family movie for sure. If you're looking for something with the kids and getting their imaginations running, and if you got little rambunctious ones like mine, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get Jordan to check it out. It's just Ethan, my oldest, that was like, "Nah, I'm gonna watch something." I try to put on. Whenever he sees something that look kind of old, he gets skeptical real fast. He be like, "This look like these graphics ain't hitting pops like 2020." So it was him, but we gonna work on that, Ethan. You better learn. You better learn to appreciate the classics, man. That's your daddy's era. All right. That's for him when he watches Burn Around.
okay, all right. So we're just gonna go from Spy Kids a little bit. I'm gonna just ask a couple questions. Have you ever seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Heard of it?
No, sir. Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yes, it's the same director, so it's the same graphics, and it's basically a Shark Boy and a Lava Girl, pretty much. And
A lava girl. So she's literally like liquid magma walking around, or
that's
is
her output. Well, yeah, she had the
she
lava
actually a
powers.
volcano?
She has lava powers. So her
Mm.
suit is like look like an active volcano because it's like it looked like liquid and but yeah, Lava Girl, Shark Boy and Lava Girl is pretty much the second coming of the Spy Kids franchise. So you know, I just wanted to say that because it's pretty much go hand in hand with the same. So you kind of got to mention one and the other. So that's why I wanted to mention that one.
What year was that one? Is it after?
Yeah, I think it's 2005.
Okay.
They
And
got
when?
Taylor Lautner.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They got Taylor Lautner in it, so he's the main character.
And
Well,
when did four come out? Spy Kids 4.
I think 2012 or 2013
Okay. Yeah, I
or
thought it
2011
looked like
came
it.
out
Well,
later.
at least by the cover, it looks like it was a little bit later as far as the graphic.
Yeah, now they are grown. They're not spy. Like the main two are not spy kids, but they're still in it. They're still like in it enough, like to be in the on the cover.
And then Antonio Banderas, though, does he how long does he last in the film series?
uh, I don't think he's in the fourth one. I don't think a lot of people are not in the fourth one. So it's like only like the main two and Machete, and that's it. Everybody else is not really in the fourth one because it's about a different family in a sense.
So
So,
Machete lasts throughout the whole series?
but Machete's only in the fourth one. He's only shown for like 2 seconds,
No, okay.
literally. He's only in the office doing like and that's it. So yeah, um, yeah. I mean, I don't know which one I would like better, the third or the second one. Well, it's between those two. So just know it goes up from here. So the graphics don't go up, but the actual movie and the moments go up from here.
There's no connection between the Machete movies and Spy Kids, is there?
Aside from the name, no.
Okay, but it's the
Cause like,
same guy.
yes, that's why. Yes,
Very confusing.
yes, it is the same guy named Machete. Nothing to do with the same universe. And the fact it's a rated R movie,
Right. And
which I don't understand.
what's the actor's name again? I should
Danny
know.
Trejo.
Danny Trejo, Mr. Mexican Superman. Shout out.
So that's the part I don't understand. Though. It's like, how you gonna take this not even PG, this G kids movie, take this one character, make it a rated R horror slasher film with him, and it's like no connection to Spy Kids at all. He's just Machete, but that's it.
But it's the same character. Is there the same director, same writers, or anything?
I think it's Robert Rodriguez. I think so.
That's interesting. That's super interesting because I did watch the Machete film. I like that a lot. I like Danny Trejo quite a bit, and he literally has a reputation of saving people left and right in LA. So I have a fan of his for a different reason, and he has good tacos, good taco spot. Danny got, but yeah, that's interesting though that they would use that character and just completely transform him for a different film series. But I love the Machete films.
Well, I'll be honest. I think people only know him as Machete though. That's the weird part. It's like they don't even know him by his name. He's just Machete, which I don't know if that shows how big Spy Kids is or how people just don't care about his name. I don't know which one is which, but
And
he's universally
I
known
feel
as
bad 'cause
Machete.
I forgot Danny Trejo's name myself. But
Yeah, he's
yeah,
just universally.
and I heard a lot of people call him Machete in general, but I didn't know. I had no idea it was from Spy Kids or had any connection with Spy Kids. So that's new for me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, people call him Machete, and he answers. So I mean, as long as he gonna keep answering, they're gonna keep just saying Machete, even if it's wrong. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I think that's it. We're gonna keep it a little short today, because we gonna let y'all watch the movie and then watch our and listen to us talk about it, because we need y'all to experience this graphics and the acting and everything, the music. We need y'all to experience this. So y'all
Yeah.
should go watch it.
And then hit us on Twitter, man. Let us know what you thought of this one. You can even go back to the John Amos. Let us know what you thought about that as well on Twitter. But yeah, we want to make sure that we're getting that feedback, keeping the community going. You guys hop in the comments, like, comment, share on Apple, YouTube. So far, um, yeah, comment on Apple, YouTube, everywhere you can find the Prime Nostalgia podcast. Make sure you guys are keeping that community tight. And we want to see you guys on Patreon soon too. We're going to be doing some of these watch alongs. And we did one with Coming to America. We'll be getting that on Patreon soon. So you guys make sure you guys subscribe. The $1 tier will get you some extra content, and soon you'll be able to engage with us. Hopefully, maybe you'll be on the episode. Who knows? But we'll definitely be doing some watch alongs with some of our listeners and supporters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I would really like for y'all to leave some reviews on Apple. I mean, we may or may not have something to give away or anything like that. I don't know. We do know a lot of people that would be willing to sign and give things away. I'm just saying.
We got connection.
So yeah, so just try to leave some reviews on Apple, or I don't know, comment on YouTube or share. Just show support.
Yeah,
We
show some
support
support.
that.
Tell a friend. Let everybody know the Prime Nostalgia podcast is where it's going down. We've had great guests recently and more to come. In fact, I'm talking to people right now. We're gonna have some craziness coming up soon as well. So you guys make sure you keep in tune.
Yep, yep, yep. And let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at leeboytv.com, where you can get awesome shirts like this, the all swag design. Make sure you check on my T Public store. Obviously, you'll see everything that's going on with the Prime Nostalgia podcast. Maybe some Leeboy and Fuzz coming soon. I don't know, but I know that Fuzz will be getting a facelift when you see him next. So as soon as I get that puppet in hand, I will be back on screen with Fuzz. So you guys make sure you tap in with LeeboyTV.com and at LeeboyTV on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I think, yeah, one of my Facebook pages is Leeboy TV. But yeah, just check in everything Leeboy TV.
Okay. Uh, y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at KVNG Prime Time. Um, I've been doing more Prime Conversations recently, so y'all be seeing more of them. I just dropped one with Trace Austin. Go check that out. And
Let the people know who he is.
what?
Grandson.
The
Grandson.
grandson of Otis Williams. So yeah, we kind of talked about that, him working with Teddy Riley and all that kind of stuff. Um, I also I only got one episode. Just started a sports show randomly because I was like, I'm bored. I got more stuff to talk about, so I got a sports show where we talk about stuff like that. We be talking more about that, and just be on the lookout for who you can or maybe can't see on Prime Conversations and Prime Nostalgia. I mean, I got somebody that's gonna potentially try to get me canceled on Prime Conversations, which we all know who that is.
Oh, okay.
So, so yeah, just be on the lookout for that soon. And yeah, just follow the podcast, leave a review. Go to LeeboyTV.com and all that good stuff. Buy a shirt, take a picture in the shirt. You know, uh, and yeah, be on the lookout for guests and people who we gonna have on soon. And with that being said, you got anything else you want to say before we get out?
Nah, man. Except for prime time is all the time. Look, I stole it.
Thunder, man, this guy here.
You left it open, bro. You said well, anything else? Oh, I got something to say. Prime time, baby.
Well, since he said prime time is all the time, I'm gonna just say, yeah.
What you gonna say now? Look, just yeah, that's all we got. Look.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna say it again. Prime time all the time.